Hello, and welcome to another edition of Coffee Talk with immigration attorney Brian D. Lerner. In this particular episode, I'd like to talk a little bit about jurisdiction, meaning what kind of law is immigration law and where are immigration attorneys allowed to practice? Because a lot of times, for example, when I'm giving a consultation, I get some consult in Connecticut or Florida or Washington, and they'll just say, well, we just want someone local. And so I thought I would explain a little bit about how immigration law works so you would understand why just getting somebody who's local is not really just in your best interest if they are not an expert and do not know exactly what they're doing. So, immigration law is federal law. Okay. That means that the Immigration and Nationality Act is passed by the United States Congress, signed into law by the president. The regulations, the amendments, the statutes, the codifications, everything that is involved with the immigration law is federal. Okay. Now, as opposed, for example, to divorce law or criminal law. While there are federal criminal statutes for purposes of this discussion, you can just think of burglary, for example. Someone goes in, they burglarize a 7-Eleven, someone at a 7-Eleven. They're going to be prosecuted by state law enforcement, and they're going to have to um, um, either plead guilty or fight a state burglary charge, which is defined by that state. Well, if it's state law, then an attorney cannot just cross lines of a state and practice within that state without passing that state's bar. However, with federal law is different. There's different kinds of federal law. There's immigration, tax, patent, things like that. And that allows a person, a lawyer, to pass the bar in a single state, yet practice in all of the states because of the nature of federal law being that it's the same. Okay. If I were to do a marriage petition or an appeal to the BIA in Virginia, as opposed to California, it more or less would be the same. Now, given that I said that, there are differences jurisdictionally where in the United States you are. Because, for example, if I'm in Texas, I'm under the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals jurisdiction. But if I'm in California, I'm under the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals jurisdiction. And assuming that the United States Supreme Court has not ruled directly on issues or on whatever particular issue we're bringing up, then that means you fall under what the Ninth Circuit has ruled if you're in the Ninth Circuit, or what the Fifth Circuit has ruled if you're in the Fifth Circuit. But that doesn't mean, for example, if I'm doing an appellate brief for a client in Texas, that just because I'm not in the Fifth Circuit doesn't mean that I can't do just as good of a brief and legal argument under the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals precedents versus Ninth Circuit. It's really a matter of knowing how to put it together and having all of the years of experience in working in immigration law in order to do this. So the bottom line of this particular video is to show that just because, for example, you live in Kansas and there might be a few immigration lawyers there, but they might not specialize, for example, in deportations. It would behoove you to make sure that who you get does specialize in whatever it is you need, whether it's investment visas, business, deportations. And that's another thing. If you're going to, for example, let's just say you're doing an E2 business visa, what does it matter really where the attorney is? Because the E2 petition, the business plan, the forms, declarations, the the proof of the transfer of money, all that stuff is presented to the consulate where you live, or where you might have to go. So if you live in Iowa, but you're going to have to go to, the American consulate in Columbia to do an E2 application, then it really doesn't matter where the attorney is as long as the petition was done properly, professionally, and the best that it could be to give you the best chance of success, because it's all going to end up in Columbia anyways. So, given that I said that, if you do want to consult and you don't happen to be right local to where my firm is, go ahead, give me a call. If you like the video, click like, subscribe, and more on the coming videos. Thank you.